Muses of Mythology is a spoiler-heavy podcast.
That's an understatement.
We're going to discuss not just the events of this book, but the Rhineverse as a whole, and really anything that we feel is relevant. You can find full spoiler warnings in the show notes. Lillian Disney was born in Idaho. That's Walt's wife.
I just don't remember asking.
Did you know? Welcome to Muse of Mythology, a podcast where we explore how ancient myths become part of modern pop culture through the lens of Rick Riordan's Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. This is Story 83, 9 from the 9 Worlds. I'm your co-host and podcasting muse, Darien Smart. Joining me is my co-host and brother, DJ.
How's everybody doing today? I'm DJ the Muse, and I thought we were talking about Hammer of Thor today.
Wild. Things are just all over the place. Well,
Apparently.
Let's muse around the garden real quick and get back on the same page. Hey everyone, just Darien. DJ is literally playing the Hades 2 early access right now. I am joined by Eda Cat. Can you hear her purring? It's a new month, which means it's time for our monthly Patreon donation. Every month, we donate $1 for every patron we have over on Patreon to some organization working to create a net good in the world. This month, we're donating to World Central Kitchen. Food is a universal human right, and WCK is the first to the front lines, providing meals in response to humanitarian, climate, and community crises. You can learn more about World Central Kitchen and how to support their mission at the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for our patrons for making this donation possible. And now, back to the show. DJ?
What's up?
We read some shorts. We read some supplemental material.
We did.
We never read supplemental material.
No, when we do, it's not on the main feed.
No. We did do the Sword of Hades.
Yes.
And we did the Diary of Luke Castellan.
Yes.
And those were very good.
Those are a lot of fun. I just saw that I had in my the quick links file in my file explorer. Diary of an Angsty Teen, which is what I.
Oh yeah, you edited that one.
So it made me chuckle when I saw it. I'm like, yeah.
This, I have consumed. So we've only talked about those two stories, and then I did a bonus episode where I ranked all of the stories, and I believe I was also tying them back to my rage at a certain Marvel Comics writer who was doing Spider-Man last year, and then made some capital C choices that I don't agree with.
With Kamala Khan, which he probably arguably shouldn't have had access to.
No, weird. This guy had no business having this character whatsoever. And if this is what
if you're going to have characters cross over, have their writers cross over too.
Yeah, if this is clearly something that editorial just wanted for reasons, which, okay, fine, except why did it happen in someone else's book rather than her own book and not even her own plot without any of her friends?
It could have been a nice quick merging like the CW did with all of their shows, that one plot arc that while I was watching The Flash, I'm like, I'm not interested.
No,
I'm not going to bounce around to 3 different shows trying to get the full story of this one thing. I'm just going to skip this arc.
Yeah. But that's not what we're doing today.
No.
Today is not a day for rage. It's a day for delight. Because, DJ, I for real like this book.
It was a lot of fun.
This is real. I think Rick did a really good job with just this silly collection of stories. And yeah, it doesn't make sense to try to do a synopsis of it, I think, because
there's a lot
going on. I'm just going to read the back of the book.
Yeah.
How well do you know the 9 Norse realms? Do you get all those Heims mixed up? Well, this collection of rollicking short stories, each set in a different world and told by a different character from the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series, will help straighten you out. And even if it doesn't, you'll enjoy reading about how Alex saves Amir's pants, Samira plucks a giant's harp, Mallory teaches a dragon how to throw down insults, and much more. Just watch out for Thor, who is running through the whole thing and raising quite a stink. That was bad.
That's pretty cringe.
I think that was poorly written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darren, what are the 9 worlds?
What are the DJ? I would love
No, don't look at the book.
Oh no.
What are the 9 worlds?
Well, there's Asgard.
Yeah.
Where the Aesir and Valhalla is at.
Yep.
And then there's Midgard, and that's our world.
Yes.
And there's Jotunheim, where the giants live.
Okay.
And then there's Helheim, where the dishonored dead go. And then there's Misselheim, which is the fire one.
Yeah.
And then there is the one where the elves live. And
Come
the one
on.
where the
No.
dwarves
No.
live. And,
No. The elf one's really easy at the very least. Alfheim, yeah, okay.
And then Niederheim?
Nidavellir, but yeah.
Okay. And that's 7, and I do more. And there's the one where the other gods hang out, where Freya's hall is.
Mm-hmm. Which is
not Valheim. That's a video game my girlfriend plays.
Yeah, that is a video game. It does start with a V.
Is it a Heim one?
I'm pretty sure it's a Heim one, yeah.
Vanderheim?
I think it's Vanheim.
Vanheim.
Maybe it's like Vanaheim.
Vanheim. And then there is...
It's the Frost one.
Isn't that Jotunheim?
I mean, Jotunheim is also Frost, but
But it's a different Frost one.
I think it's a different Frost one, where the Frost Giants are.
I said Jotunheim at the top.
It's the one where...
This is Mallory's.
Mallory's, yeah.
I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you either.
Motherfucker, knew it! Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and... So the 9 worlds are...
Dan's going to list them off, actually,
now
from the book.
I'm going to list them off from the book. Asgard, Midgard, Nidavellir, Alfheim, Jotunheim, Helheim, Niflheim, Vanaheim, and Muspelheim.
Don't forget about Anaheim, California.
And Anaheim, California, home of
Disneyland.
So I like this a lot because every world is told by a different one of our characters.
Yes.
None of whom are Magnus.
Magnus is not here.
He's not here. He's
visiting Annabeth.
And as we discussed,
Probably something,
or nothing, or just a reason Magnus isn't around.
Yep.
And we get everyone else's POVs, and they're great. So, did you have a favorite one? Or maybe should I list them all off and then we can go through?
List them all off.
Okay. So, in Asgard, we have just another decapitated head by Odin. And I like the premises that these are the characters, not just doing the POVs, but writing it, because that's always kind of the framing device for Rick Riordan's the mythology books.
Just kind of telling him.
Midgard, This Is Why I Hate Clothes Shopping by Amir Fladlan. Nidavellir, This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine by Blitzen. Alfheim, Speaking of Trolls by Hearthstone. Jotunheim, My 8th Grade Physics Actually Comes in Handy by Samir Al-Abbas. Helheim, Nice Doggy by Thomas T.J. Jefferson Jr. Niflheim, So's Your Face by Mallory Keene. Vanaheim, Well, That Was a Surprise by Halfborn Gunderson. And Muspelheim, I Play with Fire by Alex Fierro.
Yeah.
And then there's also just a tiny little bit at the very end that's not listed in the glossary. Goal Achieved, Sort of, by Thor. And it's a paragraph and a sentence.
That actually... I don't think that showed up in the audiobook. I don't remember that.
It's in the, at least very least it's in the Libby version, because I remember it.
No, I don't remember it.
Oh, wild. Okay. Yeah, these stories are all largely self-contained with like mild overlap of some characters appearing in the beginning or ends of other ones.
Yeah.
And I like that because it all takes place over like one day.
Give or take.
Yeah, like
a day, because Thor's running.
A single day. Yeah.
Because Thor's running,
and
what is it, 1 million steps in a day?
Yeah, he's trying to rack up 1 million steps, 10 million steps, because he'll get a cameo in his favorite Midgard television show. Because Thor loves TV, and I don't think that's something we addressed in the
but it's great.
Episodes. He just really loves television.
Like, all of the Norse gods really like the creature comfort that Midgard has somehow provided to their world.
Mm-hmm. I like in this, so I listened to the audiobook version too. I loved that because there's a different narrator for all 9 of the stories.
Different voice actor for
different reader. And they're great. They're like they're so specifically picked to match who's reading it. And I think that's awesome. So that's pretty cool. But after I read it, after I listened to it on Libby, I was like, I like this a lot. I'm going to go ahead and buy a copy. And specifically, here's the thing. I've had so many opportunities to buy it for like $5 at half price books secondhand, But of course, Half Price Books doesn't have it right now that I want it, so I did have to go to Barnes and Nobles. But that's
full price.
Okay. But that's okay. Because I also was excited because it's got illustrations. There's There's portraits of all of the characters in it. And you know.
That's great. That's sick.
Yeah. They're like painted full color and it's cool. And then there's also corresponding like depictions of the realms that each one. Now here's the thing, and I'll see if you can, DJ, I'll see if you can guess this thing. So there are 9 from the 9 worlds, 9 characters, sans lore, tell a story in each of the 9 worlds.
Yeah.
Do you know what makes that number a little funky for doing a series of special insert illustrations?
Midgard?
Yeah. That is, well, that's the answer.
Is that just a picture of Boston?
No,
Oh,
you
that'd
see,
been so funny.
there are only 8 pages dedicated to doing the collection because the portraits are in the front half of the book, the illustrations of the realms are in the back half of the book, and it's an odd number, which means they would have to have an extra page of just one. So instead, they opted to not show Midgard. So we have one of Asgard, then we have Nidavellir and Alfheim, Jotunheim and
I didn't
Helheim.
expect neon lights in Nidavellir.
I mean, I didn't either, but it is like solely underground.
I expected lights, just not neon. Not like a... Not, honestly, that specific picture is so cyberpunk Japan.
Yeah, it reminds me of Stray.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is more of like a cyberpunk Hong
Cyberpunk
Kong,
East Asia.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, but I'm not mad. And then,
No,
Niflheim, Vanheim,
Yeah.
and then, Vanaheim, and then Muspelheim.
Nice.
So that means if we only get 8 images and no Midgard, do you want to guess who didn't get a picture?
Amir?
Amir.
Why?
Because they only did 8, and since they weren't going to do Midgard, I guess Amir did. Odin gets a portrait
you know
and not
you know how
Amir.
you solve this problem? On the one page, the character, back of the page, their world.
Yeah, you do these
That's
together.
how you solve that problem.
It is odd that they didn't just, I think.
And you do it at the start of every chapter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, why? Because they're not the corresponding chapters. They're not, it would have cost, I'm sure there's cost and price, but it's like, okay, there's no Midgard, fine. There's no Amir. But nobody asked us, so.
Yeah.
DJ, did you have a favorite?
I actually really liked Hearths.
Hearth is really good.
Because it adds fuel to my fire that Hearth might also have a thing for.
Oh, yeah, for the...
Yeah. Yeah, right at the end there.
Yeah, weird.
Snuck it in.
Yeah, weird.
Not weird for me.
No, weird.
I read it the whole time.
No, weird. No, it is weird because it's like, oh, okay.
No, I read it the whole time. I knew. I had my finger on the pulse for that one.
No, fuck off.
No, fuck you.
Yeah, no, okay, here that one's got like a bunch of other stuff. So that one, yeah, I like that
But
one.
no, that's not the only reason I like it. That one's just really strong.
No, it's really strong. No, I was going to say the other things I got to pull up. So it is something we didn't mention when we talked about the last book is that
This one is about, for you listeners who don't know, this one is about Hearthstone going back.
Inga.
Going back to Vanaheim.
Alfheim.
Alfheim. Going back to Alfheim to save Inga because Inga's been kidnapped by a troll.
No.
No?
No. That's not what happened. He fights a troll. She wasn't kidnapped. She was enslaved.
Oh, okay. She was enslaved by a troll.
No, by another elf family.
By another elf family who had a troll?
Yeah, they just have a security troll.
Why? What the fuck?
Wealth.
Ridiculous. I was listening to it on 2 times speed while mowing down zombies, so I'm mostly there.
Mostly there. But it's like, because we forgot to mention when we talked about the last book that she gave him a bracelet made of her hair, and it's supposed to be lucky. And we're like, okay, sure. And then we find out in this one that it is specifically enchanted.
She enchanted it.
Yes. If I will ever, it's like, I love and it's first person POV, Rick's greatest strength.
Yeah,
it's first person POV. And then that means we get to be in these characters' heads, and that makes me so happy. So, talks about she and the band were connected by magic. If I were ever in trouble, the bracelet would send her a signal. Likewise, I would know if she needed help if the bracelet was twinkling. The bracelet was twinkling.
It was fucking going on and off.
Yeah.
Like
And
crazy.
so he's like, okay, well, what? Because she's a holder, which is like, they describe it. We didn't really talk about her
Which
too
is like
much.
a furry elf.
Well, not really. She looks like an elf, except for the fact she has a cowtail.
Yeah, furry elf.
Yeah.
It's on the degree of furry.
Okay, no, you're right. And they are regularly just enslaved by the other elves and captured and forced into servitude. So as soon as Hearth could, he immediately freed Inga from his family servitude.
Yeah.
As soon as his dad is like,
But some
okay,
other
you're
family
free,
came
get
up
out
and
of here.
snatched her out.
And so, because that's okay, we'll get to that. So it starts with him using the runes with TJ to be able to like vocalize in emergencies.
Yeah. But right now he's just using it on curse words.
Yeah, now we got to put in all the curse words. Obviously, we're building a language here. You got to have profanity. Bracelet goes off. Hop, skip, and jump to Alfheim. And Hearth is just rolling up. Like, because it's just not...
He doesn't care about this place anymore. He has no attachment here anymore.
No, he's here.
Truthfully.
He's here for a friend, perhaps not a platonic friend.
Something more.
Perhaps romantic. We don't know.
Perhaps possible romantic inclination.
And honestly, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter as to why he's rolling up.
It's delightful either way.
Yeah.
But I also just like, Hearth is just throwing rune magic left and right. And you just remember how hard it was for him to do one rune at the start of the first book and how that would leave him exhausted.
Now he's just popping off.
Odin's
training, dude.
He runs into those asshole
cops. They're security guards now.
Yeah, Sunspot and Wildflower.
Fuck these guys.
And we've got a bullhorn. And I love this passage. Like, Wildfire, meanwhile, produced a bullhorn and put it to his mouth. I assumed he was yelling at me, but since his lips were covered, I couldn't tell what he was saying. And yes, he knew I was hearing impaired. The fact that he used a bullhorn to communicate with a deaf person should tell you something about him.
What an idiot.
Without breaking stride, I pulled Gebo, the rune for gift, from my bag and lobbed it at Wildflower. He flinched as the stone bounced off his forehead. Then he blinked, straightened, and offered me the bullhorn. I tucked it under my arm, touching my fingertips to my chin and signing thank you as I walked past him. Just, nope, that's mine.
Just mine. Thank you.
And it doesn't, here's the thing. It comes in handy. Hearth doesn't know what's going to come in handy. He's just going to take it from him.
He's just taking it from these
because
people.
it's funny.
Yeah.
And he's an asshole. He's like, I'm just going to take that because you clearly don't know how to use it correctly.
You don't know you know how to use it, but you don't.
Well, it's not correct use to use it against someone who can't even hear you in the first place. So it's like, you don't need that, obviously.
This man just thinks, he can't hear me properly.
He throws so Sunspot is shocked. Hearth uses another rune at the lock. And then he gets attracted by a troll, uses another rune for protection. It's just... Look at the magic boy go. Yeah,
he's just popping off runes. The troll takes his bag of runes because he knows who Hearth is. So takes his bag of runes, but doesn't know Hearth can read lips.
Yeah,
so he's just sitting there gloating, then spouts off his name.
Yeah, because
Hearth's
like, a troll's name.
Great, thanks. So he tosses up, says quote unquote with the rune, says his name through the bullhorn, weakens the troll, and just kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah, I think total Hearth maybe uses 10.
That's crazy. I don't think he's ever used 10 runes in any book. Maybe 3.
Yeah, because when he starts fighting the troll, he's throwing off ice rune, fire runes, like a bunch of different runes. Yeah, even in the books, we see one at a time. And
now it's just
he's treating like cantrips.
Truly the best
rune magic.
Just the best spell slinger. Aside from Odin. Odin doesn't even do it.
And Odin's not a spell slinger. That's not what he uses runes for.
No.
I love the spell slinger archetype. You're right. Hearth is a spell slinger, and I love that. But yeah, the troll, not even just like he's gloating and says his name, but like Hearth leans into it and
Hearth
just really
is like
puts
acting,
on a show. It's like,
scared, thinks I can leave.
Yeah. He's like, look, I'm going to pretend to be... The troll is literally like saying, look, I'm pretending to be nice, and then I'm going to bite your head off and eat your guts. Hearth is like, oh my god, what a fucking idiot.
What a lunatic.
Not a lunatic. Yeah, and the troll is a lunatic.
Oh yeah, the troll is... Yeah. Well, he's a troll in Alfheim.
That's true. he does take the rune bag from him. He's like, you're deaf and powerless. And he's like, okay, I guess we'll play this game. And we do, until he just straight takes the troll out. And at that point, the family just opens the door, shoves Inga out, and slams
Get the hell out of here.
Just like, hey, take her. And it's like, wow, so you knew. You knew why he was here.
Of course they did.
You saw him rolling up your driveway.
Like, oh, fuck, he's here
and you're
for
like,
this.
let's send out the troll.
Well, they didn't think he would ever come back.
Inga's telling him, like, Hearthstone's gonna come and get me.
Hearthstone's my possible BF. I don't know, dude. We're friends.
I'm just saying, he
cares
wears
about
a bracelet made out of my hair and it twinkles when I'm in danger. You do with that what you will. He's outside right now.
Yeah.
And I love that.
It's great.
And she says, you were brilliant. They were terrified. So he suddenly froze and stared past me in shock, trembling on the ground. Had the troll awakened? I spun around and thrust Inga behind me. Then I relaxed. The troll was still lying where I'd left him. The tremors from a different but equally disturbing source. Thor. Hello, Mr. Elf, Miss Holder.
Oh, dude. I love Thor in this book because as we said, he shows up in every story, just jogging in Daisy Dukes,
going on a long jog, listening to rock.
And I cannot tell you if it's like a bag of rocks being shaken, if it's like classic rock or like music rock, if it's just somebody chanting rock, or if he got like all the Enheriar to get together and like Nordic rock chant rock.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I like the last one. But yes, I'll give this to DJ as a treat. Thor runs off. Usually I'd leave Alfheim just as quickly. This time, though, I didn't mind staying a bit longer. Maybe it was the success of Daga's magic or defeating a troll single-handedly. But I suspect Inga's smiling face had something to do with it. Don't have me!
Yeah.
Blitzen built a a tanning bed in his house to save someone's life he didn't even know. Yes, Blitzen is a good person.
Because Blitzen is a fucking great person.
Yes, that's
and
true.
An amazing inventor.
He is an amazing inventor. I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying.
It's not canon until it's canon, but you've got a lot of evidence here. I'll give you that. You could cite your sources and write a pretty strong paper. I'll give you that.
What's your favorite?
Oh, you know what?
You can't pick Hearth.
Bitch.
Because we got to talk about other ones.
We got to talk about other ones. Okay. I really did like Amir's.
Amir's is so funny, but also so scary.
So fucking scary.
Dude.
So we learn Amir has a sense of humor, which I think we always kind of knew.
Yeah.
But he did roll up wearing like an 80s prom suit and acted like he was going to wear that to Samira's like grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary.
Big fan of that. That was so funny.
And she was ready to kill him. He's like, I'm kidding, babe. No. It's jokes. I got
kidding.
jokes. I would never.
Of course I'm kidding.
Of course I'm kidding.
As he's like calling up the limo company, cancel the baby blue. we don't. No.
Yeah, the baby blue.
No.
And here's the thing, though. Like, I don't know if Amir was kidding, or whether he was like, I think I could pull it off.
It was absolutely Schrödinger's kidding. If Samira was into it, it's like, great, dude, because I do pull it off.
Yeah, look at me.
But if she's not, I'm just kidding.
It's just a joke.
Look at me. Of course I'm kidding.
You're right. It is. He's half like, I think I could pull it off, and I think I can bring this look back. And because Baby Blue is going to look great with his complexion.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
It looks fabulous on him.
He pops, dude.
It pops. But Samira's about to pop off.
Yeah,
so
Samira's like, we're not doing this.
He's like, right, obviously, I'm going to...
Not the time for this.
I'm already stressed. And then Samira just got a call. She's got Valkyrie duty. Yeah. So he's like, it's okay, I'm just going to Blitz's shop. So he goes to Blitz's shop, because that's obviously where you would go shopping for clothes.
At the very least, when you're friends with Blitzen, and you know what Blitzen's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So he goes into the shop, and Blitz isn't here.
No.
There's just this thin dude, this smarmy-looking, thin, ratty guy, who says, the dwarf's not in right now. I am Stan. Can I help you with your purchase? And basically... he gets to like, these pants are great. Wear these pants. You'll love these pants. And he puts on the pants. And let's say the pants do look good. They fit him perfectly and they look great. DJ, what's the problem with the pants?
The pants are made out of a dead person. And they're cursed. He can never take them off. But they produce gold.
Yes.
Lots of gold.
Yep.
Because they produce lots of gold, Stan is about to kidnap Amir and hold him as like a personal money printer.
Yes, exactly that. He's literally gonna be. He's like, check the pocket. Here's gold. Okay, check again. More gold. More gold. More gold. And he just gives them. He's like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. They're called the Nabrok, the Necro Pants.
That's Necro Pants.
Which is okay. Death
Necro Pants. Necro Pants.
So, here's the thing. So they were created by my ancestor, a mighty sorcerer skilled in dark magic. And there's a piece of paper in the packet. That's what makes the spell work. And it'll make gold forever. Amir's like, take it, I don't want it. He's like, nope, you're gonna come with me. DJ, you mentioned it was made of the pants were made of the skin of a deceased human. Do you know exactly why it's Amir personally? You don't remember this detail?
No.
So it wasn't just convenient that someone happened to come into the shop. It had to be Amir specifically for this spell to work. Because you see, the spell must remain in the pocket. It is activated only when a male descendant of the dead man willingly and by his own hand fits the pants onto his body.
That's gross.
Yeah. I messaged you and I was like, hey, 9 from the 9 is real dark.
This is the only one that's dark.
That's and it's the second story.
Yeah.
The first one is Odin. The second one, we're swinging by Midgard to have some necro pants with Amir.
Necro Pants.
It's so
that is his,
spooky.
Like great ancestor, essentially.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it's not great.
No.
Fortunate. And here's the thing about poor Amir is that he can't do anything in this situation.
Like, I'm just Amir.
He's just a guy. He only is in this. He can only see this because
Magnus helped him.
And
Magnus helped cursed him.
Yeah, Magnus helped cursed him. And listen, this is long term for the best, but also Magnus helped cursed him. But isn't it great? Because I'm sure he would have gone to Blitz's shop still, and then would have had an even worse time having no idea what's happening.
He would have went to Blitz's shop because Samira would have told him to go to Blitz's shop.
Blitz's the only one she would trust. Yeah. So, and he would know Blitz has a shop and that Samira's friends with these people, and of course, but then he'd be wearing the pants of a dead man.
He'd be confused as to why Samira's friends with these people, but
yeah, but okay. And it would just be wild nonsense. And I think this would have broken the poor boy if it wasn't for Magnus beforehand. It's okay though. Alex shows up.
Is like, all right, I'm here to check out and make sure that Amir doesn't fuck up.
Yeah, but and Stan rolls out and he's like, "Oh, the dwarf isn't here. No one else has been here today. Goodbye." Yeah,
let me just call Sam real quick.
Yeah,
calls Amir. Wrong number.
Yeah, because Stan also threatened Amir. He realized, you recognize Alex. If you value their life, you will remain quiet. I, too, know how to wield dark magic.
Yeah, Amir doesn't really know Alex that well.
But I think Amir knows Alex is...
I think Amir doesn't know that Alex could have taken on Stan.
Oh, yeah, that's
what I mean.
From the jump, I don't think this would have been a problem for Alex.
No, if Amir understood that, Amir would have been like, Alex, please help.
Yeah,
Alex, help.
I think he knows that Alex is part of, like, the team that went with Samira when she went on that quest to beat Loki.
Probably it.
And he knows that Alex is an Inhari, knows that Alex can shapeshift, but, like, has never seen Alex, like us, has never seen Magnus in full action, right? Has never actually seen Samira in full action.
He's seen Magnus in full action. Magnus in full action is healing people.
Yes, that's a good point. Thank you.
Magnus in full action is
Jack in full action. Let me correct
it's not Jack in full action.
So you're right. I think without a doubt, Alex, he would have had no problem in this scene.
Oh, 100%.
But Amir doesn't know this. So... Oh, whoop, wrong number. Let me call again. Oh, yep, Samira, I'm at Blitz. This guy Stan says the dwarf isn't here, and Amir hasn't been in. And he won't sell me anything because they're closing, like, right now. Because Alex does try to buy stuff. Like, okay, well, I need something for myself, too. No, we're closing, get out. And that's also part 2 of Suspicious, because Alex Fierro...
Yeah.
They walk in. He walks in always impeccably dressed in the most... iconic looks.
Like, first of all, he called Blitzen the dwarf.
That's
second of all, look at me.
And look at me. And he was not going to sell me.
I'm a clothes salesman's like wet dream.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Off commission. It's like Elle Woods just walked in. Yeah. And you're not going to sell me whatever I want. So it's okay. Then I also want to praise Amir because he is trying to like think quick, and he's like, you can't. He's trying to like resist, and he's like, well, can't I put my pants on? Like hide from prying eyes. Who would notice? Heimdall. He'll notice. But no, they're like, yeah, he sees everything. We have a special connection. He even took a selfie with me. He's like, okay, so it buys more time. Throws a shoe at him. And that's when, listen, this is actually why it's my favorite. Sam shows up in the middle of the store with a spear of brilliant light in hand, wearing a suit of chainmail with a helmet over her green hijab. She looked drop dead dangerous. If our religion didn't forbid it, I would have kissed her. Let him go. Sam's voice radiated Valkyrie power. Amir belongs to me.
Yeah, so good. Very strong.
Listen, I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Sam and Alex tag team this fool. Alex just straight up beheads this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or chokes him out. I don't know if they kill him. They should have killed him.
Yeah.
They're able to get him, make Stan get the pants off. Everything's safe. Amir gives all of the gold to Alex for the chase space. And that's
Very
so goddamn sweet. And then they use a little bit to pay for the suit that he buys from Blitzen.
It's very sweet.
I still think I rocked the blue tux. I told her as I bagged my purchases, oh, Amir, if you ever wear that again, I'll skin you alive. Damn, Sam! She's not fucking around.
It at our wedding. I'm pulling it out, but it's going to be like a modified version of it where it's actually just a rip-off.
Yeah.
And like the actual tux is underneath. Mm-hmm. But that's, yeah. Going to get 1 or 2 pics with it, then it's a rip-off, you know?
I want to talk about, I think the other one that was my favorite was Alex's.
Alex's was great.
Obvi. But I want to just like highlight through the other stories real quick.
Yep.
Odin has to get a new Valkyrie captain.
Yes, Odin has to do that. And he's like, well, you know, my top pick was Sam, but she chose to become my personal Valkyrie. Mm-hmm. So have the Thanes meet me in the Thing Room, which I really liked the Thing Room.
The Thing Room was funny.
The Thing Room callback was fun. Have the Thanes meet me in the Thing Room with their top pick. And all their picks were horrible.
Yeah.
And Utgard Loki is there.
Yeah, Utgard Loki. Okay, one thing I want to shout out. So all the picks are crazy old or not well trained, or there was one who, where is she? Boudica, a fearsome queen of the Celts and a Valkyrie since the year 61 was Davy Crockett's choice. We never mentioned that Davy Crockett's a Thane.
We never mentioned that. Davy Crockett.
And that's it.
It's really funny.
Do kids know who Davy Crockett is?
I super doubt it.
Yeah, but it's Davy Crockett.
Is David Crockett's not the Alamo guy, is he?
Damn, is Davy Crockett the Alamo guy? Am I thinking of someone else?
No. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, Davy Crockett. There was a Disney show about
he's got to be the Alamo guy. Former United States representative. Yeah, he's the Alamo guy.
Damn, okay.
That's funny.
Wild. Okay.
Were you thinking of an Australian? Because I was too.
Crikey and Crockett?
Yeah, something like that.
No, I think I am thinking, well, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. There was like a Disney show about him.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I think I get him confused with Paul Bunyan.
Probably because that jingle you just did is Paul Bunyan.
Is it actually Paul Bunyan and not Davy Crockett? There was a Disney show about Davy Crockett.
Okay, but I mean, like, Paul Bunyan's jingle starts like that. Paul Bunyan.
Hey, we're sorry for singing.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, so Boudica, this woman, I knew who this was from the reference. She is a Celtic warrior queen.
Nice.
I'm trying to maybe I've been thinking. I knew she was a Celtic warrior queen. She led a failed uprising against the Roman Empire.
That is a rough one to try to be doing an uprising again.
Mm-hmm. Right, because that was in the year 61, which explains when she became. So she died, and instead of just coming to Valhalla and just to be an Inhari, Odin made her a Valkyrie. Yeah. Like,
that's great.
That's great. She's considered a British national heroine and is a symbol for the struggle for justice and independence.
Nice.
Anyway, she's super cool, and I don't love how Rick wrote her in this.
I don't remember it.
She's just like crazy violent.
I think you got to be a little crazy violent to go up against the Romans.
I mean, absolutely. No, absolutely. These are Vikings. Like, I have no. Like, I get but it's also like, she barged in brandishing her sword, swept the room with an impatient glance, then flung her head back and shrieked with rage. I was told there would be axe. She beheaded the nearest floor lamp and stormed out. I pinched the bridge of my nose. This is Odin's POV.
Yeah.
At least the next candidate can't be any worse. And any other problem is that I feel like she would actually be a great captain of the Valkyries candidate.
That's really
so
funny.
I don't get why we took this very impressive historical, like, cultish figure and just did a joke.
Because she lost.
But they don't care. They don't care if you win or lose. They just care if you die in battle.
Yeah. But she lost for a reason.
She lost because it was the Roman Empire.
It was the Roman Empire,
dude.
but it could have been poor leadership. I don't know. It was in 61, Darren. Do you know?
I can't say I was there. I just
respectfully, Your Honor, you weren't fucking there. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah, that was just it. I was like, bums me out.
Could have been more.
So could have been more. The story ends with a problem unsolved because the next one is this old hag with a phlegm-thick cackle, and she was apparently banished from the Valkyries. She
was like a daughter of hell?
A daughter of hell, granddaughter of Loki. She plagued Valhalla with her tricks. But speaking of tricks, this isn't her.
No, it's Utgard Loki.
It's Utgard Loki just coming to fuck around and find out.
And boy, did he find out. He found out he can trick Odin.
Yeah, because Heimdall's not watching the gate. He's busy trying to make cute goat videos with
cute baby
Thor's
goat
goats.
video. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go undercover into the Valkyries and, choose one like that.
But also, he does demand that Hunding download some baby goat videos.
I gotta know what it's about.
I gotta know what this is, and I love that.
That's great.
So yeah, we end with and also this book also ends with we don't have a Valkyrie captain. Also, there are 2 books past the Valkyrie captain dying, and there's still no Valkyrie. And we don't know how long this takes, and there's still no Valkyrie captain. Yeah. I guess. Odin does say he was hoping that the Valkyries would amongst themselves elect a captain, and that just didn't happen. And I would really love to know more about how the Valkyries work as a unit.
It'd be fun.
Because the first book where we saw them the most, they just came off as kind of like
cheerleader caddy.
Yeah, mean girl style, but they'll stab you because they're warriors, right? Because their leader was opposed to Samira, and we had all that going on. And then in the other books, Samira is still a Valkyrie, but she's, like you said, she's like Odin's special ops, about Odin's Valkyrie, essentially. So she's not really participating in typical Valkyrie stuff.
No, she answers almost exclusively to Odin.
Yeah, save for she still does the primary Valkyrie duty, which is getting new Inhari. Yeah. Right? Because that's why she's not with Amir when he's shopping, because she's like, I got a 420 or
Valkyrie stuff.
Definitely not a 420.
Valkyrie stuff.
Valkyrie stuff
goes off and does. I'm pretty sure she goes off and does her adventure, doesn't she? That's what I read.
Yes, she gets another. Well,
I thought that's what she was doing while Amir was shopping.
I thought that's what she was doing with Amir shopping too.
Because most of these happen simultaneously. Because at the start of Alex's story, we get the start of Halfborns.
End of Halfborn story, because Mallory and Halfborn are making out at the beginning of Alex's. No, you're right. Okay, so it happens. It's just weird because Sam's story comes up 2 stories later. So we have the Odin story. I do love that it's going to be Odin. He's going to disguise himself and be amongst the Valkyries. And you're like, are they not going to notice there's just a new gal? Or he could introduce himself as I am a new Valkyrie.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
What he did with X. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm so sorry. You're right.
He's just going to be like, Odin has chosen me to be a new Valkyrie.
Yes, hi, I'm new Valkyrie. That's the best way. You see who is going to look out for the new person, who is setting the best example,
Odin's
who is training
them. Odin's a big fan of Undercover Boss.
Odin is a big fan of Undercover Boss, and the fact that there's not an Undercover Boss reference, that he's not the Midgard program that Thor showed me. Yeah. What?
Or the Midgard program that took from me.
Yes, that was inspired by me. I think of all of these, I'll honestly say Blitz's was the one I was least interested in.
It's the one that I least remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of the problems. I remember Junior's chasing him for a reason.
Because Junior's still mad.
Mimir talks to him.
We see Mimir, yeah.
Then Junior finds him and they work it out.
No. He accidentally turns Junior to stone.
That's right.
There's another dwarf who's mad, who's going to try to kill Thor.
Which wasn't going to work to begin with, it sounds like. His plan is foolhardy at best.
Yeah, but if Thor even knew an assassination attempt was made by a dwarf in Nidavellir, that probably would have broken pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe.
So the whole thing is like Blitz has to go
I don't think
save
Thor would have noticed.
No. I bet like Mimir's
In this specific day too.
yeah. Mimir's whole thing is like, if he does succeed in killing Thor, that would be really bad. And if he doesn't, but Thor finds out that it happened, that would be really bad.
Yeah.
So basically Blitz, because he's a brilliant inventor, invents like a box that a mini tanning bed, he just opens up and it just blasts a beam of sun out. So that's what he uses. And there's just some shenanigan. It doesn't go super smoothly, but he is successful.
Yeah, he stops the assassination attempt.
I think that he's planning on dragging
tossing him in the river later.
But the statue hits the ground and just shattered. He's like, oh, well.
Oh, I hate to see it.
I hate to see it. He gets Junior, and then the Junior's basically like, hey, you don't want to mess with me. I got a box. And they bounce, and he's like, okay, I'm going home. Yeah. I don't want to be here anymore.
He like lightly, he puts a small layer of stone on Junior because that's all the juice that's left in that box.
Yeah, that's true. And that one was fine.
It was okay.
It definitely felt like we just needed another one because everyone gets like to be heroic in some way, right?
And Blitz is like, I don't
we just need to do something. Definitely, I would not be surprised if maybe this was the one that was like trying to. It's not bad. It's not boring. Like I liked hanging out with Blitz. That made me really happy. But compared to the rest in this book, like if you don't have to, it's a 3-hour listen. Honestly, it's so light. Like don't skip any of them. But that one's almost skippable.
Yeah.
Jotunheim is where we get to hang out with Samira, because apparently one of the signs of Ragnarok, because there are dozens of signs of Ragnarok, is that
there are these chickens that
that'll hatch and crow. And one is on Asgard, the other one, I don't know where it's at or if it's being laid yet. And then the other one's on Jotunheim, but Odin can't see it anymore.
Because the giants have decided to cover it up.
Yeah. So Sam needs to go out there and take a picture of it to make sure it hasn't hatched yet.
Yep.
And we get a Jack and the Beanstalk style situation.
Get shenanigans.
There's just a giant who's sitting on the egg, and that's his whole job, and she can't get a picture of it. He falls asleep. She tries to steal the harp to get it specifically so it'll make a sound.
But it's a solid gold harp. It's a giant harp too, so it's very heavy. And while she's trying to use physics lessons on it, Thor comes along. The rope gets wrapped around his ankle, and it just drags it away.
And so then the giant wakes up, goes after it. Sam takes a picture. She's like, all right, done.
Cool.
So, like, for the rest of the time we see Thor, he is dragging this harp and the giant is chasing him. Like, that is happening.
Shit is so funny.
That was also, I was like, compared to the other stuff, it was cute. I like seeing Sam and Sam. You would ask, like, what is like a Valkyrie's job when you work with Odin?
Spec Ops Valkyrie.
Sometimes it's Spec Ops, yeah. Next, we have TJ's is so fucking great. He is summoned by Hel, goddess of the dead, to get her dog back because he got loose.
And her dog is destined to kill his father. So,
and because of that, the dog will be able to track the blood, drawn to the blood of Tyr.
Yeah.
And so that's why TJ will be the best one to do this quest.
And Hel is using his mom as leverage.
Yes, she's basically like, oh, it's so sad when he
sees his mom in his dream.
Yeah, he sees Thor jogging. He's like, that's weird. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to find it real quick. So he's like, I'm not going to help you. I don't have to. Like, that's wild. I don't need to see. This is like, nah. She snapped his fingers. Double doors at the far end of the hall blew open. 2 demons dragged a ghostly woman in chains before the throne and forced her to kneel. The woman lifted her head up and glared daggers at Hel. I sucked in a sharp breath. The woman was my mother. My sweet mother, who sang me to sleep and smelled like warm cornbread and butter. I hadn't seen her for more than 100 years. I choked back a sob. My mother's she doesn't see him. She doesn't know he's there at all. Hel noticed my reaction and smiled. Oh, good. You still have feelings for her. Feelings for who? My mother demanded. Who are you talking to? So you won't want her to suffer. And that's
it's Hel.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to us doing our episode on Hel because Rick Riordan portrays her as so explicitly villainous. When she's trying to convince Magnus to give up the sword in the first one in exchange for she's working for Loki and she's sided with Loki. And then in this one, like specifically threatening to torment TJ's mom if he doesn't agree to help her. Like things are explicitly, these like gods will do the things that are like, oh, I want you to do this for me. And usually they'll offer some kind of reward for it. Like some kind of
No, I'm offering you a punishment if you don't do this.
Yes. Like instead of a carrot, he gets a stick. And that is very specific for hell to do. And you're like, oh boy. So I'd be interested to see if there are stories where if this is from the like the stories of hell where she is portrayed as being like more malicious, or if this was a choice.
Yeah.
So he rolls it up. Gotta get the dog. Can't let anyone know the dog's missing because hell doesn't want anyone to think she can't control her own dog.
Which she can't.
She needs to take him to puppy training, which she never did. But while we're down here, we meet Balder.
He's here?
Yeah.
He's handsome.
He's dead.
He's funny.
Young and handsome with a mop of dark brown hair, sparkling blue eyes, and killer dimples on each side of his impish smile. Balder radiated warmth and good humor. Being near him made me feel happy. Plain and simple as that. Hi, you're Tyr's kid, right? Like he's been poking me. He's like, sorry, we don't get many full-bodied visitors down here.
When you weren't moving, I was unsure now.
Yeah. You didn't react. I wasn't sure if you were real. Balder helps him out. We can't help him.
No, he doesn't help him. He gives him his but he's got arrow.
The mistletoe.
Yeah,
arrow.
The mistletoe arrow that killed him.
It always appears with him wherever
in his chest.
In his chest.
Yeah, it always appears where it struck him and killed him. Mm-hmm. Even if he like burns it, buries it, throws it away, it's always going to come back into his chest, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
When TJ he uses it to poison the dog.
Yeah.
To like pretty much knock it out, not actually poison it, but like knock it out to call hell over to, hey, take your dog.
Yeah, because he remembers like when he was alive in the Civil War, there was this like stray dog that followed his regiment around, and one time the dog got into some mistletoe berries and was like, whoa, not great.
Yeah.
But the dog, and Balder's like, don't tell me the dog dies. I hate it when the dog dies. The dog didn't die, the dog was fine, but it will probably help me with what I need to do it right now.
Yeah, and Balder fetches it from the dog's mouth. He's like, yeah, I figured I'd grab it here rather than having to deal with it in my chest later.
And it works. And it tells Hel, go get your dog. I got your dog. And he goes back home. The goddess of death visited me in a dream. A job well done, son of Tyr, she said. Your mother is safe. I may even grant you permission to visit her from time to time. I look forward to that. And I'm glad your dog is back home, even if he's destined to kill my dad. But right now, do me a favor. Go to Helheim.
So good. Love TJ.
I love TJ. I'm like, go to Helheim got the biggest eye roll from me. And I'm like,
but it's
all right,
so
Rick.
good.
All right, Rick. But yeah, that one was fun. Mallory teaches insults to Nidhogg.
Very funny.
Because how does she end up in Niflheim? It's an accident.
She's mad at her boyfriend.
Right. She's mad at Halfborn for something.
Because Halfborn is ignoring her to go off to do his thing. Right,
yeah. And won't let her in the room.
Yeah.
And so she's pissed off at him. She ends up storming through a door and ends up in Niflheim.
And
because that
ends
just
up there.
Happens sometimes.
Pulls out a magic parka given to her by Blitzen.
Thank God.
Yep, because it's like,
we almost froze to death
ever
one time.
since, I'm not leaving home without this anymore, so we're just going to walk through. And then she finds the hot springs that's in the roots of Yggdrasil, which I don't remember the name of. There she meets Nidhogg, who's trying to cook up some good bird-themed insults to give to Ratatoskr to go say to the eagle at the top of the tree. But he's just not good. He's not
good at it. He's also like very sensitive.
He's like, well, I mean, when you're feuding for thousands of years, you got to be kind of sensitive. Yeah.
Right? He when he sees her, he roars, and she's like, is that supposed to intimidate me? I've heard louder roars from Thor's butt. Nidhogg flinched as if I'd whacked him on the nose with a rolled up newspaper. That wasn't very nice. He sounded so hurt, I almost felt sorry for him. And she's like, hey, my insults are as sharp as my knife. See? How about I teach you some and then you let me climb over you and don't eat me?
Please.
And so she teaches him the classics. I know you are, but what am I? I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say, bounce off me and sticks to you. Takes one to know one, and shows your face.
Just a classic.
Just classic. And just, yep.
He doesn't quite get it. He says, I know I am, but what are you?
And then she makes it home back to Valhalla.
Yep.
It's a pretty simple one, but it is like, I like that they're all very different. It's not like they don't have the same pattern. They aren't like every character is going to go fight a monster type deal. They all have a different problem to solve, and they all get solved in like different, unique ways.
Yeah. Mallory literally accidentally just ended up here.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, this is my day.
Shit.
And then we find out what Halfborn has been doing.
Halfborn is trying to make a, what was it, a bracelet, a ring?
A mosaic for Mallory, made up of an assortment of found and recycled objects, weapon fragments, pebbles from different worlds, shards of shattered glass.
Yeah, and he's gonna give it to her on the day they first battled on the battlefield, which is probably the day they first met.
Yeah. See, and it's not just, the mosaic is depicting Mallory and my first battle together.
Yeah.
I want to give it to her on the battle's anniversary next week. He remembers the day of the battle.
Because it's probably he saw this fiery redhead and was just struck.
Bum, got him.
Yeah, straight up. It's like, got me, dude. Cockney accent, fiery redhead. Oof, got me too, Halfborn, me too.
She doesn't have a Cockney accent. She's Irish.
Fucking that general area of Scottish, Irish.
Hey, we're sorry. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry. No, we didn't.
Crazy ass Western UK.
Ireland is not Cockney.
No, you're right. It's not. But the thick Irish accent.
Yes.
Me too, Halfborn. Me too.
Me too. And so he's got to get some scales. He wants to get some dragon scales to finish the mosaic. Alex helps by giving him some pottery from Alex's pottery studio that had gotten broken. He's like, perfect, great, thank you so much. I'm gonna go fight some dragons. So he goes to Vanaheim because there are dragons there.
Yeah, there are beautifully colored dragons there.
Yeah. And so he goes to Folkvagner, which is the Hall of Freya, looking for her permission to hunt the dragons.
He's trying to do this correctly.
I love Halfborn so much. I love that he's like, I gotta. He says he finds some of the dead who reside in Folkvagner. They're not in Harry because they're not. But they're also warriors. Like, they have likewise died in battle with a weapon in their hands. Half of those go to Valhalla. Half of them go to Freya. Mm-hmm. But they are also supposed to be warriors. Like, they are also supposed to fight on the battlefield at Ragnarok.
Yeah, but they were the battle medics.
They were the battle medics.
They were the combat medics that, like, didn't want to pick up a gun, but kind of had to because of the job.
Yeah, it's pretty
Freya's not there.
They're all so chill. Yeah, he wakes up, dude. Hey, where's Freya? Who are you? Halfborn. Where's the goddess? Halfborn. What's that short for? Nothing. Halfborn is short for nothing? Ugh, it's so weird how names work. They're all high. Everyone's high here.
That's just Vanaheim,
flower
dude.
power, San Francisco in the 60s. Like, everyone's high.
Just having a good time.
We're not going to pretend. They're all super chill.
Sleepy. We're just chilling.
Yeah. He says, whose permission do I need to hunt your dragons? I need some of their scales. Like, I love that he's like, I'm looking for Freya. I need to ask for permission to hunt the dragons. He's like, well, you don't need to do it. They're asleep. Like, right? Just, walk down and take them. Most people would have been relieved when a potentially deadly task turned out to be non-life-threatening.
Of course not Halfborn.
I am not most people. I prefer to earn things, not have them handed to me. Still, I'd come for dragon scales, so I set my disappointment aside. And so... And Halfborn is so distressed. He's like, I'm so glad I'm not from here. This place sucks. I hate everything
ridiculous.
About this. I don't want to play volleyball with any of you.
Thank you for taking me to Valhalla and not here.
Mm-hmm. So they go off and they see the dragons, but right then, guess who comes jogging by?
It's Thor.
It's Thor.
He wakes the dragons up.
Wakes the dragons up.
Dragons are grumpy. They see somebody not from Folkvagner.
Mm-hmm.
And attacks.
And it's like, that's more like it. And went to rip my Tough Mudder tea. Then I remembered I'd ripped it off earlier, so I went straight back to going berserk.
Yep, I went straight into berserk.
Mm-hmm. And then
he fucking bodies these 3 dragons.
Bodies these 3 dragons.
Yeah,
Just
and Miles is not happy about that.
absolutely cleaved its skull in two, wrecked it with the shield, just absolutely, yeah, just went crazy berserker Viking mode.
Yep.
They're also upset.
It's like, well, they would have killed me.
They're dead. And all of the folks at Volkwagner are heartbroken that he has killed the dragons. Yeah. He's like, okay, well, you see, I would be dead for good because I'm an Inhari.
Yeah.
And if I die outside of Valhalla, I stay, and they're just not getting it.
I stay dead. But the dragons will come back because the primordial soup of Gningagap.
Yep. And she's just like, the dragons will be reborn? We'll have baby dragons here soon. So cute. Thank you so much for killing them.
Don't know if that's how that quite works, but...
Yeah. He's like, okay, I'm just going to leave. Don't ever talk to me.
They might just come back fully formed.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, takes some scales and goes the fuck home because I have a mosaic to finish. Which is still, he's just bodied 3 dragons. He's covered in dragon like blood.
I got an arts and crafts project I need to go do.
I got an arts and crafts project to finish for my girlfriend.
I'm doing my best here, but it's not,
Oh, I bet it's gorgeous.
Oh, it probably is. I bet
he's got a doctorate in it. He's tons. He has a whole art studio.
True.
That's at the top. Describes. We get a little bit more description of it in the top of his story. He talks about how, yes, I'm a Viking warrior, but I've got a lot of time on my hands. Of course, I have my own art studio. Which brings us to our last one. Alex Fierro's I Play with Fire.
Yep. She goes to Muspelheim and fights Surt.
Yep. We see that Mallory and Halfborn have made up. Obviously, Halfborn just showed her the mosaic.
Mm-hmm.
So it does. Oh, because I think Alex stayed there to watch the mosaic or something.
To prevent Mallory from getting into his room.
Yeah. So it does imply that time has passed if Mallory has just seen the mosaic, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's unclear. Now I'm actually not sure if it all takes place in one day.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter, but everything else feels like it does.
Thor runs. It's all in.
You're right. So maybe just we just skip from Halfborn heading back from Vanaheim to Mallory having seen the mosaic.
Yeah,
which is great. Maybe you only needed a couple more. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Okay, so in the last episode we talked a little bit about how some elements of Alex and Magnus's relationship feel like, do you actually like Magnus though? So this line I liked a lot. I'm not sure. So Alex is leaving the room. I'm not sure Mallory and Halfborn even heard me when I left. They were lip locking so hard. Seeing him like that almost made me miss Magnus. Almost. He was away visiting his cousin, Annabeth Chase. And that's important because it means Annabeth had advised Magnus to leave Jack. And the reason for that is so we could do this story because there's really no reason why he wouldn't have brought Jack if Percy has Riptide on him at all times.
But it could be we don't want to mingle Norse mythology in with the Romans just yet because they just got used to Greeks.
That's true. Don't bring your magic sword.
Do not bring your magic sword. That is a telltale sign that you are Roman. Your healing powers can be explained away by the fact that you are a son of Apollo. We can figure this out. It's fine. Please don't bring your magic talking sword with Nordic runes on it.
That's a really good point. Yeah, is it because they specifically... he's obviously, if he's visiting Annabeth, she's in California at New Roman University. Yeah. That's obviously where he would have to be at. We could argue that maybe they're back maybe it's the summer after. Maybe it's, we don't know. But that's exactly the
only place I would even think that, why wouldn't he be able to bring Jack?
Yeah, she should bring Jack everywhere. He's still in Inhari. He's got a lot of enemies. Yeah. It would be wild for Magnus to be unprotected. That's a big, and now hold up, yeah, this is not what it's about. That's a big ass to tell him to
huge
leave.
Ass.
Annabeth would never tell Percy not to bring Riptide somewhere.
No.
And
the only way is if it were to make it safer and make it easier.
Yeah. So I think you're right. Yeah, it's got to be that reason. Interesting.
Shit, the Romans, granted led by Octavian, almost fucking started a huge ass war with the Greeks because they realized Greeks were still around.
Yeah. And yeah. And listen, Nordic invaders were part of the reason that part of the Roman Empire fell.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't blow over great if it's suddenly... it blew over so well when they found a son of Poseidon. I'm sure it'd be so good when a son of Phrey shows up.
Frank and Axel are running the show now. And
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it
is-
would probably be fine. It would be better, but it would definitely probably sow a little in the community.
Right. You got to wonder. And Annabeth also knows about the Egyptian stuff because she's met Sadie Kane.
Oh, she has?
Yeah, there's
That's
a
great.
series of short stories too where she and Percy have met Sadie and Carter.
Nice.
So that's really cool. So she knows all of this stuff. I think she knows about Sadie before she knows about Magnus. I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not positive.
It would make sense, I guess, maybe because, solely because of when these books came out. If they're all happening around the time of when they came out. So the Red Pyramid happening around the time of Lost Hero, Son of Neptune.
Yeah, Red Pyramid, I think, takes place kind of around the end of Last Olympian.
Okay, yeah.
And so then I think, or at least those books take place, the Serpent Shadow, Throne of Fire.
So it probably happened somewhere between Blood of Olympus and Magnus Chase.
I think it happens between Last Olympian and Lost Hero.
When they get in contact with each other?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure because maybe it happens after, before.
Not with this episode's about.
Not with this episode's
main
about.
feed.
This is main feed.
I know. This is main feed. This is a bonus episode.
This is a bonus episode of us trying to piece this together. I'm sure. Here's the thing. I think there might be an answer, but also I believe the answer is still fluid and could be changed at any point in time.
Yeah, certainly.
So, but the reason for our narrative purposes that Magnus didn't bring Jack is so Jack can warn Alex that apparently Sir is up to something because there's a network for enchanted magical items that they're just able to communicate with each other. They just talk to each other.
It's honestly just gossip.
It's just gossip.
So there's a chance this isn't even real.
I heard rumor from Surt from your Garot, who heard it from an arrow in Alfheim, who heard it from a mace in Jotunheim, who heard it from a vegetable pillar in Vanaheim, anyway, the communicate traces all the way back to Muspelheim.
Don't get on the bad side of a vegetable peeler.
Yeah. So here's what, Jack calls people, he'll just say, senor. So he pops out of his sword mode. He's like, senor, senor. Then he pauses, looking at me. Again, hard to tell with the whole no eyes thing. Regardless, he picked up on my ginger change. Sorry. Senorita, senorita! Which made me laugh, because at the top, yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny.
And so it's like, when Jack went to sleep, Alex was presenting as he, him. And so I like that. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I mentioned this because, as I said earlier, I listened to this in the audio version. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on the choice that the reader made for Jack's voice?
Like a very thick accent.
A very thick Hispanic accent.
Yeah. Very funny.
Yeah, and definitely born from the fact that the first lines the sword has is senor, senor.
Just born from the fact that he mixes in sometimes Spanish, but it because the other audiobooks don't have that.
They don't do that. They just kind of have him do, hey, senora.
Honestly, it's so much funnier when it's just a dude being like, hey, senor, how you doing?
Yeah, it feels like that's just like
put her there, senor.
Yeah, it's like an affect Jack has. I just picture like a big, like not quite surfer, but like he does a lot of sports, blonde dude, like, hey, senor. Like,
no, I picture essentially me, but throwing in Spanish words into his dialect.
Yeah.
That's every time.
In the voices that the other writers choose for Jack is usually I get kind of a vague surfer vibe.
Oh, no,
surfer, he sounds very laid back.
I get a 30-year-old in the late aughts, early 10s wanting the 80s back.
You know what? Yeah. Wanting
That's
the 80s back. Senor feels like a very 80s dude thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this voice, and I can't, no fault to her. Absolutely, this is not a judgment on her. This is a choice she made. I think she probably has not read any of these other books. It doesn't matter. She's hired for this one job. This sword's first lines are senor and senorita. So why wouldn't he have a Hispanic accent?
Yeah.
Did no one tell her?
No.
Yeah.
Probably she's also could be a fan of the series, but has also only ever read him and read it in
also
Hispanic
could be that,
accent.
but it is like it's like obviously different voice actors are going to bring different things and different voices, but that one is just a very specific choice that does not exist in the 3 previous books, and
was very Antonio
Banderas.
Yeah, Banderas. Very.
Maybe it's that because he's a sword, and Antonio Banderas played Zorro, and he's always got the hot sword moves. with that in mind, I now subscribe Jack has a Hispanic accent. He sounds like Antonio Banderas. He sounds like
he's a broadsword. He's not a rapier.
No, but he's still slick.
He tries to be slick.
He tries to be slick, That's right, Riptide dumped him on their first date. So we didn't talk about that either in the last one. Riptide being like, oh, pretty lady sword. And Percy being like, are you sure? And that turning into, hey, respect the gender, Percy. I'm like, I don't think this is Percy disrespecting gender. I think this is Percy being shocked to find out his sword is sentient.
I'm like, he's not disrespecting the gender. He's looking at a sword like a gender?
Yeah, I don't think it's Percy being like, oh, I thought my sword was a dude. I think it's Percy being like, I thought my sword was a pen.
I thought my sword was a sword.
My sword doesn't fly or talk or do magic things, except sometimes it's a pen. It's not like Jack, who flies into, but he established in the previous book, apparently all magical items are sentient.
In some way, I guess.
Yeah, because this one just implies like Alex's garrote is magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
No notes.
And they somehow communicate.
No notes. That would mean Meg's scythes, or the weapons that she uses that turn into her rings, are magic or sentient. So basically, Surt's up to no good. You got to get to Muspelheim and figure it out. But I can't go with you because he'll pick up on me. And you can't ask anyone for help because he'll pick up on them. You have to go because since you can shapeshift, he won't pick up on you. As long as you keep changing form. I'm 82% sure that this is 62% true. I'm pretty sure that maybe that'll work.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. So Alex does some clever stuff and puts together a heat-resistant outfit. Because obvi. And then makes her way to Muspelheim. No worries.
Yep. Finds out Surt's got a bunch of no-name gods. And is trying to, like, essentially start up a new pantheon for when Ragnarok finally comes. Yeah.
It's a bunch of, like, low, basically forgotten minor deities.
I'm not even sure if all of them are Norse.
Yeah. That was one thing that I wasn't clear on.
I think that's the joke.
I think the joke is that they're all Norse.
I think the joke is that they're not all Norse.
That would be so interesting. Yeah. I thought they were all... I figured they were...
Because, I mean, even in... Trials of Apollo, there's that the silent god isn't really Greek.
No, that's true. So the gods we have are Holler, god of disease, destruction, and disaster. Snortha, who is the goddess of... It's like she's the goddess... Oh, prudence and self-discipline.
What a crazy thing to try to be a goddess of after Ragnarok.
Yeah. Forseti, god of justice. He says he's not part of the All-Father story or inner circle. And he's like, that's nonsense. Glum, who is one of Frigg's handmaidens. There is a goddess who is Loffen, the goddess of arranged marriages. And she wants to hook Glum up. Like, give me your number. We'll talk. I think
it's pronounced Gloom because she's like the goddess of doom, isn't
Gloom.
She?
You're right. Glum is how it's spelled, but it is Gloom.
Yeah.
I think there'd be like
Gloom, goddess of doom.
Goddess of Doom, Frigg's handmaiden. And then they're like, Alex is nervous. She's like, they're a motley crew, but they'll still add to Surt's power. I got to do something. And so she buzzes around and whispers things in their ear.
It just sows dissent.
Exactly. You said,
party.
like, why would the goddess of self-discipline, like, Surt just wants to destroy everything that's not going to be helpful to you.
Like, there's going to be no order in after Ragnarok.
Yeah, what justice is, like, basically just, like, reminds him that, like, hey, you're what you stand for is diametrically opposed to Surt already. Like, Alex doesn't have to, because Surt is, like, his voice is enchanted. He is, like, very convincing and compelling. So that's something she does have to work against. But being able to whisper right in their ear is like, no, you stand to gain nothing.
Yep. After they all turn on Surt, she comes out and cuts off his nose again, which is already very tiny.
Oh, because it's slowly back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then wraps her garrote around his neck.
And she says, Jack and Magnus send their regards.
Very good.
Which is also very good.
Yep. And then Floor 19 shows up.
Surt killed him.
Yeah.
And I knew that. Yeah, but like Surt killed him. And so her rolling up, cutting off his nose, and shapeshifting back into her girl self, and is like, Jack and Magnus send their regards. That's so fucking cool! The guy who killed your boyfriend, and you're just like, what's up? Yeah, Alex is the best.
Very fun.
I'll come back around.
And she's like, come at me and you'll regret it. If one Inharyi can do this, imagine what all of us can do and will do come Ragnarok. We are not destined to win, but we will fight with honor. We would welcome you to our side of the fight, but if you must side with him, know this. I will personally hunt you down on the last battlefield of Vigrir and send you straight back into getting a gap. The choice is yours. The deities vanished. Yeah, that's what I thought. The problem now that Alex realizes she has is that she does have a fire giant strangled, that she can't actually kill him.
But she also can't let go.
But she can't let go. So she is like, oh,
how do I get out of this?
I don't know how. And that's when the doors fly open and all of her friends come running in. Like, everyone comes running in. And from their point of view, she's got it handled. No one else is there. She's got Surt by the throat. Like, oh, I'm sorry. We can go.
No.
I actually do. Great timing. I do love that Alex isn't like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, I had it handled the whole time, where she is like, oh no, great timing. Thank you so much. I actually do need help right this second, though.
I don't know how to end this.
Yeah. Head out. And she takes his sword. I'm keeping this.
You'll get a new one later.
You'll get Jack, actually. But for now, so next time we see Alex, she's going to be willing to flaming, raging, poison Sword of Doom. And I know it's not
that
poison, but it could be.
Yeah, why not?
We know it's definitely flaming, it's definitely raging, and it's definitely a Doom sword.
Yeah.
So give me flaming, raging, poison Sword of Doom, and I'm happy. Oh, did you see Thor? Thor shows up at the perfect time in all of the stories. In this one, he shows up right when Surt has, like, Alex forgot to shapeshift.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't changing it, and Surt zeroed in on her. And then Thor runs by, everyone gets distracted, and she's like, oh, and now I'm a cockroach. Now I'm a grasshopper. Oh, shit.
Yep. Now we're moving. Now we're different things.
Yep. Now we're good. I like that just wild through line of Thor showing up at the exact right moment for everybody. And then,
so much fun.
And at the end, he did not have his Fitbit on.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, you don't know. Oh, my God, DJ. Oh, my God, you don't know. No, you don't know. Oh, my God. Okay. Goal achieved. Sort of. Asgard, Midgard, Nidavellir, Alfheim, Jotunheim, Helheim, Niflheim, Vanaheim, Muspelheim. Trekking through the 9 worlds to rack up 10 million steps wasn't easy. The chafing and blisters alone nearly ended my quest to earn a cameo on my favorite Midgard television show. But I'd do it all over again if I had to. Which apparently I will have to, because I forgot to turn on my fitness nut.
You hate to see it.
That's some Rick
so
Riordan shit right
rough.
There. Oh.
It's an awful lot of blistering and chafing.
It's an
10 million steps.
10 million steps. And you know, he's a god, he's got long strides, so that's oof.
Yeah.
Marathons.
Very rough. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Well, we're just gonna end that. I guess it has been.
What more is there to talk about?
I guess these we just talk about the things we like. I liked this.
It was great. We talked about the things we liked as we went through.
Yeah, obviously we covered it. So if you hadn't read it yet, you'd be like, "Oh, I know what happens," and you do. I would recommend listening to it because I think the prose is so well written.
It's a lot of fun.
I definitely
recommend it.
Yeah, and if you're not an audiobook person, like this one, I would definitely recommend. Like, get the audiobook for it. Like, hearing all the different voices, cool. Like, it was a really, really cool experience. Mm-hmm. And again, just shouting out the Libby app, the library app. If you have a library card, you can use the Libby account and get whatever your local libraries have. It's so convenient.
I just have an active Audible account that stacks up credits.
And I don't.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is so good. I'm very, very, very happy about it. It makes me...
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I own it. I like having the hardback, even if it doesn't have Amir and Midgard, which is an insult.
Yeah, it's weird.
You could have shown us Amir in that powder blue tuxedo.
It's so funny.
The option was there. Someone give us some fan art. Someone must have drawn this, right? Can you link that to us?
Can't believe we got Odin, but not Amir.
Can't believe we got Odin. And did you see what Odin looks like? He does look like a man who runs a hotel.
Yeah. He looks like the hotel manager that actually also served like 3 or 4 tours in Iraq.
Absolutely does exactly it. I think he and Mr. Moseby could chat, though.
Probably.
Like, he and Mr. Moseby could swap stories of
I think Odin might be.
hotels.
Odin looks like the guy that might be a little too intense for Mr. Moseby.
I think
but then like after like the only looking though.
Yes.
Right? And then after Mr. Moseby talks to him, he's like, "Oh, this guy is actually talking my language about
I was
trying
about
to
to
work
say,
on the
I think-
hotel. Let's get this
I was
going."
gonna say, I think he sees him first. They're at some sort of convention, and Mr. Moseby's like, "Oh, shoot, that guy's like really intense." And they end up getting seated together at the same table. He's like very nervous because this guy's huge. And then, like you said, they start talking.
He just pitches an idea. It's like, "What do you think about this for a hotel?"
Oh, well, how would you solve this problem? Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And he's like, and at the end, he's like, "Oh, you know, Moseby,
Isn't the Tipton in Boston?
The Tipton is in Boston." Odin and Mr. Moseby are friends. Canon. They are
That's funny.
friends. Odin's got his eye on the twins, Zach and Cody. He's like, I think they would, if things align in a certain way that doesn't work out for them, I think they would make great recruits to Valhalla. All right, thank you so much for joining us there. Now we can end.
Have a good day, everybody.
No,
You say don't, and until next time, don't be like Zeus.
Oh, but no, I also have to say when we're going to be back.
Oh, yeah.
No, actually, so we can. Okay, we're trying to clear up. That's nice, but we actually do need to say what we're talking about next because
Yes.
now we've done it. Now we've talked about all the books. We have everything. We're going to sit down. I'm going to sit down and plan episodes and figure out what we're going to cover, how we're going to cover, what pieces are going to click together. I'm really excited about this. I feel a lot better about this than I did when we were trying
This is
to
gonna
record
be
our
really
In Harry
good.
episode. So I think our next episode, the first, like we did Valhalla.
Mhm.
We'll obviously have to redo In Haryi and stuff and figure that out. So we've already done Valhalla.
What would we do at Valhalla when we do like Enheri and Valkyrie?
And we'll touch on that like a little bit. We covered so much of Valhalla. Like I don't think we need to retread that much.
Fair enough.
But I think now that, especially what we were coming up against, even just trying to do those episodes, is that initially my instinct was let's do Ragnarok last. It's the end of all things.
Yeah.
It should close out.
But it's actually the known end of all things.
It's so important that literally every single story connects to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I feel like having that acute understanding of what it means will be incredibly beneficial to like further interrogating and understanding the other narratives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I propose we are doing Ragnarok first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We will be back in your ears on Tuesday, May 27th to talk about Ragnarok.
Wonderful.
And until then, don't be like Zeus.
Don't be like Zeus.
Muses of Mythology is created and hosted by Darien and DJ Smart. It's edited by Darien Smart. The show is produced by Darien and DJ Smart, as well as
Tim O'Connor. The Crystal Conman. Nicholas Miller. Our music is Athens Festival by Martin Hain. And our cover art is by Audrey Miller. You can find her on Instagram at Bombshell Nutshell Art.
Want more Muses of Mythology? Support the show on Patreon. Just $1 gets you exclusive bonus content. Get more at patreon.com/Muses of Mythology.
You can also support the show by leaving a review at lovethepodcast.com/Muses of Mythology. Or tell a friend why you love the show.
Don't forget to check out all of our episodes and episode transcripts at musesofmythology.com.
Thanks for listening.